burying our heads in the sand and pretending that a bigger picture is not staring us in the face is not the way to deal with it. And by us just bobbing along and hoping that something doesn't happen is not the answer. Can you imagine if we hark back to World War II, if that had been the attitude of Britain in those days? They would have turned around and they would have said something along the lines of, well, we can see what's happening in Germany and in Europe, but we'll back off. We won't do anything. We'll just see how it plays out because we don't want to trouble ourselves too much. We don't want to affect ourselves. Yes, the world is scary and it's full of horrendous problems, but I'm afraid sometimes we just have to bite the bullet, so to speak, and get on with it. And believe me, as I've said at the start of this programme, as someone who is British and Jewish, this is a very uncomfortable conversation for me to have. I normally very much look forward to speaking to you on TalkTV. I find it a great privilege, and I normally enjoy every moment. But you should only know right now how I feel that I have to have this conversation. Because believe me, it's no picnic. It's no picnic for anyone who was gunned down in the terror attacks that we witnessed only last week, literally last weekend, 8 days ago, is when we saw these horrors unfold. And yet it feels like a lifetime since then, because so much has happened since then. But yesterday, in particular, what we saw on the streets of London and around the country is not something to be proud of. Because I'm not saying that there aren't some people involved in that protest who don't do it for the right reasons. I believe that by and large they do want to see peace. I also believe that by and large they are concerned about those who are affected by war and who are completely innocent. I think that's something we can all agree on. I hope it's something we can all agree on. I'd be pretty horrified if anyone said that anyone from either side of the political divide shouldn't be allowed to carry on living just because they fundamentally disagree with something. That's outrageous and absolutely does not belong in any British values I've ever been brought up to believe. But the truth is that there are blurred lines. There were many people at that protest yesterday chanting the words "Free Palestine." Now, I wonder whether or not you know where Free Palestine comes from. Now, there may be some who, with the best will in the world, believe that it is a slogan you chant to say stop the alleged oppression of people in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. Well, that might be your intention, but actually where that slogan comes from is the Hamas mantra of "from the land to the sea, Palestine will be free." And if you're in any doubt as to what that means, that is the Hamas charter that means that Israel will be wiped off the face of the earth. And if you support that, then you don't know humanity. I'm afraid if anyone can hand on heart say that they appreciate and approve of that, I think you're a despicable human being, personally. And I make no apologies for that. If people can't live side by side in peace, well then what hope is there? What on earth is the point of living if all we're going to do is go around trying to kill each other? I don't know about you, that doesn't sound like much of a life to me. So, to those who were chanting "Free Palestine" yesterday, possibly out of good intention, please learn what that means. And please actually understand the history of that slogan, and what you are actually saying is you are calling for the destruction of Israel. Now, you might not want Israel as a country to exist. I'm sure there are many countries around the world that people don't want to exist, but the fact is it does. But as I've said all the way through this, there are people on both sides of the political fence who are entirely innocent. And I'm afraid wiping a country off the map, regardless of what country that is, and that goes for the Gaza Strip as well, by the way, is not the answer.